The biggest thing I enjoy about the bus is knowing that we're making a conscious choice to live a simpler, easier life, and the bus was the first step in doing that. We spent about 6 months researching what people hated about their buses, and we wanted to make sure not make those mistakes.
As a DJ, I had to modify the bus so I could get my DJ on.
A lot of people want to live large, and that's the opposite of what we're trying to go for here.
Come inside and see the best part of the bus.
Will you join me? Will you roll? Make this house our tiny home.
Hi, we're Dawn and Dawn, and this is our self-built bus home. We took an RV across the United States for about a year for a honeymoon, and that's really, I think, what started the whole idea of living simpler, living tiny. I'd grown up with having a school bus as a home, and so it seemed like an easy build. We happened to stumble across this bus, and it met the criteria that we wanted for the engine and the pushing capabilities. It had all the size requirements, and it was a great price, and so it seemed like a no-brainer.
It took us about 1.5 years to build the bus once we got into it.
It was a lot of work every single day. We got up every morning and came out here for months and months. We put it in the driveway, and even though we still were at our house, we lived in the bus in our driveway so we could see what are the things that we hate, what are the things that we like before taking the plunge and, putting it on the open road. We absolutely wanted to make sure that we could host people, we could cook all of our meals here, along with the capability of solar technology because we wanted to live off grid.
And one of the things I really liked was that we could build it for my height. I'm 5'12", and so the countertops are higher, the couch is higher, and so it's modified for
a tall person.
Yeah,
that's nice. We lived on the bus full-time for 8 years. 6 or 7 months ago, we found this property in Southern Oregon, the 10 acres that we're on now. Dawn Michelle, my wife, needed a knee surgery, and there was no way that she would be able to get on the bus for 3 months with that knee surgery. And so we had to come up with an alternative of, place to live, and that's how come we made a space in this little Quonset hut apartment that we have. And the bus is still here, and we still use the bus space, and we still house people in the bus when they come to visit, but it's not our everyday house right now. And then our goal is to get back on the bus and rent out the apartment.
Bus life is a good life. This is a 1998 Thomas diesel pusher. So our bus is 40 foot long, 10 feet high, and 8 feet across. We have 8 solar panels, 100 watt each on top of the bus that work to charge everything up really nicely. We decided to go with a wooden door because the bus doors originally didn't have much insulation, and we wanted to match the theme of the wood inside. So we had a custom-made door built, and they embraced a new metal frame in it, which made it extra sturdy, and so we could have a lock on it as well. Right up here we have our removable stovepipe, so when we're driving we just take that off and cap it. You'll see the custom stove when you get inside the bus later. Our diesel is filled here, and then underneath here we put in 2 propane tanks to have a backup so they last a few months. And then back in here we have our water storage. We have gray water, and we also have fresh water. And it's so nice to have the under storage. We were able to put in these tanks and keep them insulated when it gets cold, so we never have any problems with freezing. We have all our electronics under here. We have our Xantrex inverter, we have our AC power, and we have our 2 Life Blue batteries that are lithium. Up here, we have where there was an emergency door. We decided to have a back door so we could come out the back of the bus and have a ramp that makes it accessible both ways. And back here we have our Cummins engine, and it's a pusher, so it pushes from the rear and doesn't have any noise as you're traveling. Right up here is the bathroom, and so we enclose that inside, and then we put in our on-demand hot water heater. This is a propane heater, and so we always have hot water on demand. So in here is all our wire harnesses, and we learned a little trick because mice and rats like to chew on wire. So if you put dryer sheets in here, the scent will scare them away and we don't have any problems. Now that you've seen the outside of the bus, come inside and see the best part of the bus. As a DJ, I had to modify the up bus so I could practice and get my DJ on.
Welcome to our home. Let me show you around. Let's start with our awesome wood stove here. It heats about 500 square feet, which is way more than we needed, but we wanted to make sure we were kept warm. One of the nice things about this stove is it has a small footprint and it allows you to have less clearance around it than most stoves, so it was perfect for the bus. As you can see, we put LED lights throughout to save energy and also to make sure that we had a good light source throughout the bus because it is kind of dark in here sometimes. Living in Oregon with the rain, it's good to have a lot of different lights. We were able to get this awesome couch from an RV store, and it allows to have extra sleeping space when folks come over. You just pull it out and you have an instant spare bedroom. We were fortunate enough to spend a lot of time trying to figure out how we could create as much usable space as possible. So we put drawers in wherever we could. This couch actually came with a drawer, but there's also another drawer that we added underneath to cover up the wheel well. And on this side of the bus where the table is, we also have cabinets underneath, as well as open seating that we can lift up and put in extra supplies that we need. This table will drop down and it fits in between the two seats. So if we have a small child or a smaller human, we can actually turn this into a sleeping area as well. We decided after much consideration to keep the original bus heaters in the bus. So in case the stove didn't work, in case we didn't have electricity, we could always start the bus, run diesel, and use the original school bus heaters to keep us warm in an emergency. We have a Dometic refrigerator that runs on both AC, DC, and propane gas. So no matter what our situation is, we can keep the fridge running and keep our food cold. We have a nice small apartment-sized propane stove that has a full oven in it so I could bake a turkey if I needed to, as well as 4 burners on top. We created a really cool trash and recycling area with a flip door so we can very easily just open this little flap and put the trash or the recycling in. And then to get the trash or recycling out, we just open up these magnetic doors and pull the bins out that way. We're fortunate to be able to mill all the wood that we put in this bus. Here we have some live edge white oak. In between each window is some yew wood that was milled from Fall Creek, Oregon by our family, and we were able to plane it and put it in here. Down below we have more white oak, and our sink countertop over here is also yew wood that we were able to lamb together, create a big surface, and put the sink in there. We spent about 6 months researching skoolie conversions before we even started on the bus. And a lot of the research we did was on what people hated about their buses. And we wanted to make sure not make those mistakes and learn from other people's issues so we wouldn't make the same things. And one of the things that we found a lot of people complained about was having the hallway right down the center of the bus because it split up the room and made it look even smaller. So we created this hallway down the side here so we could have a full bathroom. We put the kitchen right next to the bathroom so we could use that same water source for both cooking and showering. Of course, we have a Nature's Head toilet, which is the only composting toilet I recommend. This is our 3rd composting toilet, and so again, we learned the hard way. We tried to save money because these Nature's Heads are a little on the pricey side, but trust me, it's worth the money when you have to deal with compost. We got this amazing compact washing machine for the bus. And what it does is it sits in the shower pan. You just use the shower nozzle to fill up the washing component. You put your clothes in there, it washes, and the water drains right into the shower pan. This side has a centrifuge that you take the wet clothes, you put it in, and it spins really, really fast and gets all the water out. And then we just dry it up by the stove or outside. As you can see, we've done a lot of woodwork here. A lot of time was spent trying to find the most amazing live edge wood that we could find. And then we spent a lot of time planing it, sanding it, and sealing it to make sure that it would stay in the bus and look great. Another space-saving feature that we use in the bus a lot is pocket doors. And this is a reclaimed door that we were able to get from Bring in Eugene, and it's a place where they take old construction materials and people recycle them. And this was an awesome door that we found, and we built it right into the wall here to open up and give us access to our bedroom, but yet still provide privacy when we needed it. In here, we again created the space to cover up the wheel wells from the bus. And so we made this storage unit here, which is a laundry hamper on this side with access to open it here and get our clothes out. And then over here, we made another access area to hold linens and extra towels and things like that. We have a full queen size bed in the back because it was important for us to have a good sleeping space. We found a way to tuck it in here nice and snug. And there's also a hydraulic lift underneath that allows us to lift it up so we can have lots of storage underneath. Behind the bed is the engine back here, the pusher. And so on top of the engine is a little closet space for us. On this side of the bedroom, we have an old armoire that was from our house that we cut the back off and slid it in here over another wheel well, and it gave us more closet area and more shelving area to store our clothes. We kept the original back hatch access of the bus in case of an emergency and we needed to get out in some way. We can still flop open this hatch, jump up here on this countertop and jump out, which we've done a few times just for fun. Here's a cool little map of the United States that our mother made us. We have pins of all the places that we've been. We love the open layout of our bus. We spent a lot of time to make sure that we could host a lot of people, we could sleep a lot of people if we needed to, and we spent a lot of time making sure that all the little components of our life are here. So this is not only our home, but it's a place we love to bring people. Sorry, babe.
It's okay. Tiny home.
Tiny home. I think overall the biggest thing I enjoy about the bus is knowing that I'm living small and I'm doing my part to not waste energy. You're not a huge consumer of all things. We're making a conscious choice to live a simpler, easier life, and the bus was the first step in doing that. A lot of people want to live large, and that's the opposite of what we're trying to go for here, obviously. So like I say all the time, there's enough for everyone's need, but there's not enough for everyone's greed. And so by living smaller, hopefully we can help other people who need housing and things like that. It's a great feeling every day to look at something beautiful that you created with your own hands.
Don't regret it one bit.
Not at all.
Thanks for watching this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you soon with another unique home tour.